Hello guys, welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be looking at what are the store procedures and what are their advantages. And if you come here, you can see what is the store procedures. A store procedure is a prepared SQL code that you can save so that the code can be reused over and over again. So if you have an SQL query that you write over and over again, save it as a store procedure and then just call it to execute it. So when you come here, you can just see the advantages of store procedures. And one of the advantages of store procedure is it makes your database very fast, it is pre-compiled, it reduces network traffic, and it is reusable. Its disadvantages includes it is difficult to debug, need expert developer since difficult to write code, it is database dependent, and it is not portable. When you compare the advantages and disadvantages of store procedures, you can see that advantages are very great and they can override the disadvantages of store procedure. One thing that I like about store procedure, they can make your database very fast. You can query, you can delete, and you can do insertion very fast. So in this video, we'll be looking at how you can create store procedures and use them. We will be using MySQL or MSSQL, that is Microsoft SQL Server, and run our commands. So we just come here, open the Azure Data Studio, because I'm using it to connect with my database, which is in, I'm hosting it in Docker container here. As you can see, it is running on port 1433, yeah, just like the normal database for SQL or my MSSQL. So here is our workplace where we can run our command. So to start with, I just create a database and then tables and start creating queries, and then see how we can create store procedure for those queries. So we just by creating a database, and to create database you need to write create database, just like that. And what will our database name be? We will call it testing. Let's call it testing, or we can say store procedures since we are running about store procedure. Store procedure, something like this, or we can just capitalize everything. Store procedure, just like that. And then let us run this query. So we just hit here at a button called run, and then as we can see, it has run successfully and has created a database called store procedure. So when you come here at the top, you can see our database. Now we can just select it and start running queries. So the first thing I want to do is to create tables, because as you know, SQL uses tables that are stored in database. So we just create a table, and let's call our table users. So we can just write create table and then something like table users. Just assume that we have a table called users, and the argument that, or the columns that we want in our user table, can just write just like that, and then we can say something like ID, and our ID should be of int, and then it should, let me format it as true, so it should be identity, and this is for auto incrementing. So 1 that's how you should write auto increment in SQL Server for Microsoft. So And another thing, let's call it primary key, just like that. So another field should be name, and then we can say it will contain characters or varchar, just like that, and then say 100 characters, and it should not be null. So another field can be email, just like that, and then it should be a varchar or strings, so it will be 100, and then should not be null. What should be our next column? Maybe say password, so let's call it password, just like that, and password is varchar, so just get it 100, and then it should not be null, not null, just like that. And another field we can add is role, or just the role of the user, so we can call it should be a varchar since it is a string, so we say maybe something like default it should be user or user, and maybe not null, just like that. So because if maybe we're assuming that our database should contain the normal user and then admin, and then we can redirect the user when he or she log into our application to the page. Maybe user, we can redirect them to users page, and admin to admin dashboard or admin page. So we just run this command here. It's just a normal commands for SQL to create table, so we can just execute it. So when we come here, we can just say something like we can just write a command or a query to see our database. We can just say select all from users, just like that, so that we see our database from all, select all from users. And here I think it is caps or something, yeah, just like that. As you can see there, we have our table here. It has a column of ID, name, email, password, and role. So let's start by inserting our data without using store procedures. So we just say insert, something like that, insert into users, and then say specify the column. The first should be the name, the second should be the email, and password. And this is because we don't need to add ID because it is auto-incrementing by default, and for the column of role we have set the default to be user. So unless we specify that it is admin or some another role, it will just make sure that it is adding user in our database. So, and then we can continue and say values, so that we can add values in our database, and say something like, you can just say something like, maybe our first value should be maybe James, and then image can be james@gmail.com, and then another field should be password. You can say password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then it should run this command suppose it's okay, just like that. So it has users, it has name, email, and the password. So it should run, and then we can select it. So it just run. So it has run already. So let's see our database, how it looks like. So we can add, say, select all from users table, users table, just like that. And then let's see how it is. So we can just run the command, and as you can see here, it has inserted this data here. We can insert more record or more records. So we can just come here and say, maybe, and comment this and say something like done. So, and then done at gmail.com, and then the password can be the same, or we can just add mine here. So let's run the command. Let me say another row. We can call it jury, and then the email is jury at gmail.com, and then we have can add 0 here to our password. So we run them. So let's comment this insertion command or query. So let us now uncomment this one for querying everything from database, from our table. So we just see how our database looks like. So as you can see here, our database has 3 rows, and now we can just comment those 2 queries. So now we need to create store procedures for them. So let's come here and maybe try to create this store procedure for inserting into users, and you will see how easy it is to create store procedures. So let's start by creating store procedure. And to create store procedure, you need to say create procedure, just like that. And then the name of procedure should be something like sign up, and then from there we can just start adding this field. The first field that we need is name, and the name should be nvulture 100, or it can be vulture. And then another field is email, and as you can see, we are writing at email, not email, and then email should be again nvulture, just to keep it consistent, so 100, and then we'll add at password, and then nvulture there, and you can say 100, just like that, or even you can say 200, whatever you want, but it should not be less than 100. So after that, you can just come here and say as, and it is auto completing for us. Then we can just take this command here, insert into here, copy, and then we can say insert by and comment this. And now we don't need to provide these things or these fields here. You can just say at email, coming from here, up here. So this is name, not email. So at name, and then we can call this at email, and we can call the third one at password, just like this, at password. So that command should be complete, and then you can say go or end, something of the sort. So let's run this command. So just like that, as you can see, it has already executed the command. So now if we want to execute this procedure, we can just, let us remove this here. I'm hoping that you can see it. So let's remove this. So we have now a stop procedure called sign up. So we can just come, let me confirm the name again, sign up. So we can just remove it. So we can say, to call a stop procedure, we say exec, and then we can just say sign up, just like that. And the first command or the first argument should be the email or the name, and the name should be James, or maybe something like John. And then we can say the second one should be the email, and the email can be something like john@gmail.com. The other field is password. Note that we are writing at name, at email, and at password. So you can say something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something of the sort. You can add even a character. So if we, okay, first of all, let me run this command here for selecting all, and as you can see here, we have 3 rows, and then let us comment and then uncomment this command for calling our stop procedure and inserting using stop procedure rather than the normal insertion using queries. So we just run it. As you can see, you don't have this one. I forgot to, you don't have this stop procedure called sign up without end, so we need to add this end there because I forgot. So as you can see, we have inserted 1 row, and this is using stop procedure. So if we come here and then run this command again, as you can see, we have added John, but this time we are not using the insert. We have not used the insert command. We have used our stop procedure. So that is one, and then we can have another stop procedure, and this procedure will be running this command here, and this can make your queries very quick and can be very predictable, and you can reuse it whenever you want. So this command here is select, we can just create a stop procedure for it. So let's comment it and comment it, or comment it first of all, and then let's create a stop procedure. You can say create procedure, and then our procedure will be get all users, just like that. So just like that, we don't have any arguments or any field that we are inserting. We are just querying, so we can just say as, and then we can say select, or we can just copy and paste it, this command here, and just copy and then paste there, and then we can just say come here and say go, and then let us see what will happen. So if we insert, as you can see, we have this stop procedure that we have added in our database. So we can just delete this stop procedure, and now we have another stop procedure called get all users. So we need to call this stop procedure. We can just say exec, just like that, because we don't have any argument. We are not inserting any values in our table, so we can just call it just like here, and then we can run and get our rows in our tables. So we have this query, a bare query, and we can use this stop procedure here, and we have this for inserting. So whenever you want to create any query, you can use stop procedure, and as you can see, this stop procedure will be stored in your database and you can call them from there. It's just like how when you're coding you create function, and those functions you can call them whenever you want to use them, and that is a very great concept to use in database, because it will make your database faster. As it is shown here, it is pre-compiled, it reduces network traffic, and it is reusable. It will cache your commands and your database will be very fast. So you can just continue with this project here, or you can just create your own stop procedures, play with them and see how it will turn out. So I'm hoping that you have learned how to use stop procedures. In the near future, I will be showing you how you can use these stop procedures with our backend using nodejs, and we will see how great it is and how it can make our application very efficient. So I will stop by sharing there. If you like this video, remember to like and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified the next time I'll be uploading my video.